Is your dog scared of the brush, or are you having problems brushing your dogs and you can't keep them calm for some reason when brushing? Then this video is for you. Hi everyone! Welcome back to the channel. It's the Poodle Mom again with the two toy poodles. In this video, let me share with you some tips and tricks that helped me train Summer and Bailey to tolerate, keep calm, and even love brushing. For my first tip, invest in a good brush, the best you can afford, the one that is most comfortable that you can afford for your dogs, because it will really help them tolerate the brushing. So the brushes that I use are these. Feel free to check them out, find similar ones, whatever is most comfortable with you. Otherwise, there are affiliate links in the description box below if you want to purchase the ones that I have. They're from Amazon as well as CC's website, because lately Amazon's stocks have not been replenished, and it has been since the pandemic, and it's best to get them directly from CC. So I here have the Mark II slicker brush in small. If you have a standard poodle, of course, why would you get a small? You would get the bigger one. So get the one that is relative to your dog's size. The next one that I would recommend is the Coral Slicker brush. This is in medium. It comes in 3 sizes, small, medium, large. For toy poodles, the distributor of Christensen here in the Philippines recommended that I get the medium. I also have a promo code for our Philippine viewers. I will post it here in the screen so you guys can use it. You get, I think, 10% off. And honestly, this is not a need. This is more than enough for any regular pet owner who wants to just brush their dogs, so long as you use this properly. This is best for the ones who are really serious about grooming, because it helps you dive into the coat and make sure to brush even the ones that are near their skin. This is perfect for that. Ever since I started using this every day, this is the only brush I use. But when I'm being notorious and I don't actually brush them as often, I would need this to break down the coat first. Next is, this is not a need, this is a nice to have. This is the triangle slicker brush of Christensen. I think it's called A5V. Not sure if you guys can see it. This is best for the nooks and crannies, like the in-betweens, their snouts and stuff. It's more convenient to have this to brush those, but that doesn't mean you won't be able to do it with just the regular Mark II slicker brush. You can also use this. That's why I'm saying this is just it's a nice to have. If you can afford it, by all means go get it, because you know, convenience and speeding up your work will save you a lot of money too. Time is precious. Next must-have is this butter comb. This is a Poodle butter comb in 004. This is best for checking for mats, so it glides through matting. And then this is not Christensen. This is the only brush that is not Christensen in my grooming kit. And this is the Madan pin brush. And I've had this for 4 years, I think, because I initially bought the Christensen pin brush. Quite frankly, I barely used the CC brush. I don't know if it's because I got the wrong size, but I wasn't too happy with it, so I ended up just using it for myself. Of course, I cleaned it and sterilized it before I used it on myself, so it is now officially my own brush. Because you know, their brushes are so expensive. Meanwhile, my brush is just, my brush from high school was just from Target in the States. My aunt sent it to me, and I still have it there until now. Alright, next tip. It is best for you to exercise your dogs before you do anything that you think they wouldn't want, most especially brushing. A tired dog is a good dog. So, exercise your dog before doing any sort of major training for them so that they will listen to you, especially if your dog is high energy. That's what I did with Finn. So, I tired him out through play first before I started introducing the brush to him. The next tip is to socialize them as soon as you can. So there have been many people who have been asking me or messaging me on our Instagram, TikTok, and so many other platforms, when is it best to start grooming your dogs? When is it best to introduce them to the tools or socialize them to the tools? Guys, there is no better time than to do it now, or as soon as possible, as soon as you get them. Because the sooner you start, the more they will imprint the behavior of tolerating the tools and eventually loving the tools, especially if the tools are comfortable. But do understand that every dog is different. You have to get to know your dog. Find out what ticks them, what gets them motivated, what makes them excited, what makes them happy. Use those to help with your training. So let's get on to the process of how to actually do it. The first thing you will do is get maybe toys, treats, or something that motivates them. Every dog is different. Some dogs are prey motivated, some dogs are food motivated, some dogs are play motivated. So depending on that, adjust it as to which one will you use as your reward to desensitize your dogs to the tools that you want them to socialize with. So the next thing to do is to introduce the tools first, or introduce whatever object you want them to socialize with. In this case, we will be doing it with a slicker brush. So with Finn, I started introducing the object by literally just leaving the object beside wherever they are. Let's say here, I just left it there. It doesn't touch them, it doesn't interact with them, it's just there while we play, or I give them treats, or whatever it is that you do to bond with your dog, just leave it there. Once you see that they don't even react to it, you can also start moving it closer to them so that they would start smelling it. See? Smelling is a social behavior for dogs. So when they start smelling an object, it's them getting to know the object. So here's how I did it with Finn. I started using play to make him feel comfortable around the brush. One thing you guys have to note is that he's deadly scary of the brush and he hates being brushing. Every time he sees the brush, he runs away. This is probably because of the trauma that he got from his breeder, because he has matting on his feet. Every time the brush moves closer to his feet, he gets scared. So what I did, I used play to make the brush not scary for him. I know that this will not work for every single dog because some dogs will just start biting on the brush, and for something so expensive as this, you wouldn't want that, right? But in this case, since I thought it would work with Finn, that's how I adjusted the training. I made it fun for him. So this is me not exactly brushing him, but occasionally touching the brush on him so that he will get desensitized, and eventually I will counter condition after it. Now, your progress will depend on the personality of your dog, or your dog in general. Some dogs may be scared, so it'll take you longer for your introduction. Some dogs will be, on the first try, you can even start making the brush touch them already, or even brush them right away, and they will tolerate it. So it really, really depends. Once your dog starts tolerating it, meaning they're fine with it, you can try making it touch them like that. See if you can leave it on top. Once they don't react, you can offer a reward or a treat. Because that is how you counter condition them to the tools. That the tool is something that will bring them good things, like the treat or maybe comfort in the future. With Finn, I actually had a harder time than it is with the girls because he had bad matting on his leg, and I think when he was with a breeder, they forcefully tried to brush it out and it was hurting him because I haven't even touch the brush. It literally was just going near where his mats were. He started crying nonstop already. He's a drama king. As if I was hurting him, but it wasn't even touching him. So it was that memory, that bad memory of the brush being close to him that caused the issue because he had a bad experience with it. So when you hurt your dog, don't worry, it's fine. You can make mistakes, you can possibly hurt them. Just make sure that you end anything negative with something positive so that the memory that will stay is the positive memory and not the painful memory or the sad memory. So here, let's say you already touched it and they're fine with it. You can move further on your step and you can start literally brushing. If they tolerate it, then get a treat and offer a reward. Good girl. Or you can pet them or whatever your dogs, because there are some dogs who don't like food rewards. You can just praise them and all that. And then this is what you get now, a dog who doesn't even care what I do with the brush with her. Stay consistent. You have to understand that this isn't a one-time thing. You have to get them to imprint on the behavior. And in order to do that, you have to constantly do it on a regular basis. Yes, it is a drag. Yes, it is definitely such a big hassle, and yes, it is time consuming. But this little sacrifice that you will make in the beginning of your dog ownership will save you a whole lifetime of stress and discomfort. And if you want proof of this, I have a few videos that I will recommend over here, and we hope to see you there.